makes us grow and feel small. And the strong get stronger at the broken places, and the weak get weaker as we spit in their faces. From that day on, the world would do your bidding, but the mark you left was like a chemical spillage, and the hate made a slash and a stain on my soul.
Live from the podcast rooms in Glasgow, it's all about the Gers with Ricki Neill, Derek Ferguson and Charlie Miller.
Hello and welcome to tonight's All About the Gers. It's myself, Ricki Neill. Just before we go in and welcome our guests, I would just like to say a big thank you to all our sponsors once again: ISG Resin Flooring Specialists, Giant C Architectural, Plugged In Business Solutions, Crown Embroidery, Park Construction and Plant Hire, Avia Signs, and our tonight's guest is actually Stuart, the owner of DB Dental Care. So I'll just welcome you, Stuart, now, and obviously Charlie's here as well.
Hello, Stuart. Hi, Charlie. Thanks for having me, Ricki. Hello, Ricki.
It's good to have you back on. Charlie, you were away last week, so you didn't make it, so it ended up being myself and big Greg Houston last week. But you know, we actually managed to entertain people. So I don't know how we done it, but we managed to do it. But how you doing, Stuart, anyway?
Not too bad.
Not seen you for a long time.
I know.
Just move your microphone down a
Sorry,
wee bit.
boss.
You look like you're doing a wee rap song or something there.
I've done one or two of them before. Cheers, mate. Busy weekend. Wee bit of golf. Playing the Captain's Day. I said I'd mention my brother-in-law's hole in one.
Aye.
That was great. One, did you? Aye, absolutely.
That's decent.
Unbelievable.
I wish I was good at golf.
So did I. And so does he.
Then I could play because I stink them all and all, so I could go up Dilliter with you. You played Dilliter, Charlie?
I don't know. I've played
Westerwood, aye.
Oh. I'm sure we can arrange something.
Do you not like Westerwood? No.
Westerwood, no.
Anyway.
You need buggies for Westerwood.
Aye. Right. We're going to football straight away then, because there's quite a few things we can talk about tonight. So obviously the game against Hibs at the weekend, I didn't realise, but there was 12 players not available for that game on Sunday. So there was, obviously Hibs were still fighting for a European, or they're still fighting for a European place. Could have been a tough game, Charlie, but I thought we kind of cruised it.
Yeah, I think the boys started well. Obviously it's a great free kick for Tav. The goalie's a bit drunk, I think, isn't he?
Absolutely.
The goalie gets caught out, I think. But
he should be seen him talking, lining it up.
He's got to see that coming, haven't you? You can't get beat with that because he gets a full horn in it as well, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
But good tip. And then just some of the boys that are playing. McCrory, I'm so happy for him. Yilmaz, as I said, I wasn't sure about. He seems to be doing okay. Cantwell's still the star at the moment, and he's playing really well. And I thought he would have been a good signing. Seen him at Norwich a few years ago, and he was a very, very talented player. And then Suter coming in again. Suter had to play. I said that we'd play Suter and Goldson together. I think Suter's better than Davies. But time will tell what Bill wants to do.
I know. Later on, we're going to talk about some of the players that we think might be leaving. I was reading a wee article in Ibrox Noise online, and it's quite an interesting article. They done it at the start of this month, but we'll go to that later on. All right, we'll just keep on talking about this game now. Stuart, obviously, since last time we spoke, Michael Beale's brought in a couple of new players. What do you think of Cantwell and Raskin?
I think they've been great signings, to be honest, Ricki. I think we were crying out for somebody in the middle of the park. I think the facts are Rangers are missing Stephen Davis. The games that we've beat Celtic over the last few years, he's been an ever-present, and I think the midfield's been lacking. And I think Raskin in there kind of gives us a wee bit of extra control in there. Cantwell a wee bit further up top. I think he's got all the tricks. He drops his shoulder, he can see a pass. He gets the fans up on their feet, and I think Rangers need that as well. There's a few players for Rangers at the minute that have not got the game intelligence, and I think Cantwell certainly has, and so does Raskin.
Aye.
He's just getting energy.
That was being polite.
Aye.
Just get a great energy. Cantwell, Raskin's very good as well. Once you get him up, I think once you get him up a bit fitter as well, I think he'll be even better. Things have gone all right the last few weeks. Obviously, the games we lost against Celtic were disappointing. I think Bale knows now what he has to do and what he has to bring in. So, and the games are lost. They were tight games. It wasn't as if they battered us. It was
mistakes.
the odd mistake here and there. 2 mistakes at Parkhead, 1 mistake in the final, the semi-final, and then probably Bale got it wrong in the final. But he seems to be doing the right things. He said they're going to be expecting a signing on Wednesday. Yeah. So things to look forward to.
I mean, obviously, Connor Goldson is out now for 10 weeks, and they reckon that he won't be back until at least the first game of the season. So he'll miss the qualifiers for Europa and Champions League kind of thing, which is. But after seeing that at the weekend, I thought King and Suter, good partnership, and I thought John Suter probably. I think it was between him and Cantwell for man of the match. Sure. What do you think of Suter?
I think Suter was spraying the ball about. He was spraying the ball about all game, and I think Rangers benefit from that. I think from past games with Goldson spraying the ball about, that was a massive tactic for Rangers last season and the season before. And I think if Suter can come in there and continue that vein of form, I think it stands Rangers in good stead. And him and Goldson at the back, it suits me.
I think the only problem is with Suter is his injuries.
Absolutely.
That is the heartbreaking thing for him and for us, because I don't think he's great to play on these stupid astroturf pitches. I don't think they help. But when he gets a run in the team, I'm sure he'll be a very, very good player. And I like him. I've liked him for a long time. And it's a big presence. He wins his headers. He's no fear to go and win his headers in the opposing box, as well as I seen the other week against Celtic. So I think he's a good signing now. Unfortunately, it's a bit late in the season for the big man, but just get him games through to the end of the season.
I think he speaks really well as well. His post-match interviews, he's been out there a couple of times, and I think Rangers have needed that. Someone that's got the confidence to go out and speak, and it looks good for him.
What do you think's changed over the past couple of weeks, Charlie? Because there does seem to be a bit of a new belief in the team.
I think it's just the players are settled in. The ones, because we've missed a lot of players. We're still desperate for a striker, as we all know. I just think McCrory, now we know the situation with McCrory. I love Griggsy. I thought if Griggsy wasn't going to start the year, I thought McCrory should have started. And nothing against McLaughlin. I like McLaughlin. He's a good goalkeeper, but he's no a number one for Rangers. Griggsy's obviously leaving at the end of the season, but it looks things now. And I'm sure, I don't think we really need a goalkeeper. I'm happy with McCrory and McLaughlin, and looking to strengthen where we need to strengthen.
Do you know, I don't know if you noticed on Sunday, but Lee Ramage was saying thoughts on the 2 sub-keepers on Sunday. I thought it was a bit strange having McGregor and McLaughlin on the bench. I think he was trying to get more of the young team in.
You think you just, okay guys, Griggsy, you've had your time, you've been amazing for us, but let's put a young guy on and just get him a game.
Maybe we didn't have enough players to fill the bench.
I suppose so.
Young boys, but you can still get a young boy in. I suppose if a young boy's not doing it and he doesn't deserve it, you don't just put him on the bench for any reason, you know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, I'm with you, Charlie. I think we should give McCrory a chance.
I think you just say he's number one and that's it. And we don't need to sign. And I like Butland. Obviously, we've been linked with him. I like Butland, but we can't go and give him 40 grand a week when we can go and give maybe 2 right good players, outfield players, 20 or whatever. Because we need it outfield more than we do, because McCrory's a good, safe set of hands.
Right. Do you know, we're getting loads of good questions in, so we'll maybe come to questions later. And I've actually seen Curry Muncher. I finally met him in Lounge 72 on Friday, so I now know what he looks like, and he's already given me abuse on there, and he's cracking jokes about dentists, but I don't think we can actually see them on air's shirt. So we can maybe show you that one later. Right, second goal was Yanis Hadji. How good was it to see him score against Stuart? Obviously, was that 17, 18 months or something since he last played? Or not since last played, but since he scored.
Yeah. No, it's such a nice thing for him, isn't it? Like being out that long and coming back. You could see how emotional he was. And as I said, I had a wee tear in my eye as well.
Aye. What do you think about Hadji? To be honest, see me, I'm not too sure about Hadji. I thought before his injury, I thought he was good in Europe. I didn't think he was anything special.
Hadji's a very, very good player and technically very good. I think he lacks a yard of pace. He would maybe need to be a top player. But technically he's very good. And it's good to see him back scoring, showing emotion, and signing a new couple of years deal. I think he signed him. That be what he had. So he's obviously want to be here for a long haul. There's obviously rumours about him leaving to go to Spain or whatever. Maybe Galatasaray as well in Turkey. So, but if he's happy with his, then so be it. And then get him a few games before the end of the season, get him a right good pre-season, and get him ready for the start of next season. It's like a new signing.
I think his stats in the 55 year were incredible. Like going under the radar, because I'm with you a wee bit, Ricky, there, and I don't think maybe that's why he's at Rangers, because he's not that level. He's got a few flaws, but we've got to accept that. But I mean, he's a left foot, right foot. He's got it all.
Do you know, we're just going to move on to the Cantwell goal as well. But before we actually talk about his goal, Stephen has got a good point, which I actually noticed the other day as well. He thinks that Cantwell's already a marked man. He's booked again on Sunday, but he's been getting a few bookings the past few games. Charlie, why are refs like that in Scotland?
I think it's been persistent fouling in it, because I didn't see his booking on Sunday, but I think the last couple of games it's just been because he's so keen and he get to try and win the ball, and sometimes the guy just gets past him and he clips him or whatever, and then they add up. But he's just...
It's not like any bad fouls, isn't it?
No, it's just his tenacity and wanting to win, and his enthusiasm for the game, for the team, for the players, and it sets the rest of the players. It gets him going, right, okay, look at him, he can go and do it, so I'll go and do it.
Because I think we've been missing that kind of dig over the past couple of months.
Well, probably since the European games last year. The whole season started horrifically with just injuries and changing goalkeepers, and probably no, as I said at the start of the season, quantity rather than quality. And we bring in two quality players and we look at a far better team with Cantwell and Raskin in the team.
Well, it must, as a fan like me and you, Stuart, it must be, well, it is quite exciting to find out who he's going to be bringing in. If they're anything like they two guys, hopefully we're going to be a decent team.
It's 100% record so far, isn't it? So if we can stay close to that, we'll be... Aye.
The fact that it's him, there's no middleman now. Well, obviously you've got the agent, but it's him direct to the players. So anyway, Ryan Jack, you didn't think he was going to get an extension, Charlie?
It's not that I didn't think he was going to get. I thought I've got one, but I wouldn't have given him one. Just the sole fact that he's injury prone and Lundstrom's got a year left. We've got Raskin and Lundstrom there. So do we need Jack again this year? We could be spending the Jack money on another player who would be younger and who's going to maybe play every week or whatever, has not been injured. And I like Jack as a football player, I really do. But it's just his injuries have really caught him as well,
Yeah, it's a shame.
And I believe, as we said a few weeks ago, he should maybe see his time at Scotland. He should maybe sat out a wee bit now and just concentrate on his club career.
Aye.
Because we do get him back injured a lot when he goes with Scotland, unfortunately.
Aye, definitely needs to just concentrate on club. Stuart, what's your thoughts on Ryan Jack? Were you happy with his 1 year extension?
He's a good player. I think he fits if he's fit, but I can't remember the last time he lasted 90 minutes. And football games last 90 minutes, and if you can't be confident that your players are going to last, then do you keep him around because he's a Rangers fan and
Maybe
he's
good
going
in
to
the
kind of
dressing
keep,
room.
he's good in the dressing room. Do you do that with Arfield as well? I know you've got that written down for later, but Rangers need players that know what Rangers are all about, and if Jack can be there for Arfield can do that. That's why McGregor was good to have there, because when they leave, who else have we got? Do you know what I mean?
Aye. I'm sorry, I'm just going to go back to this, talking about McCrory. Here's William Park saying he was up for giving McCrory a chance. However, on Sunday, his overall display gives me call for concern. I actually thought he played well on Sunday myself. And do you know what I like about him? He reminds me of McGregor. See, when anybody in the defence is doing anything wrong, he's up there shouting and screaming at him. Whereas McLaughlin's very, very quiet, but...
McCrory's obviously learned from McGregor. He's been there with him for a long time, and I now believe it is his chance, it's his time, because it's the same idea what happened with Griggs. He had his time to get into the first team, and then when he did, he excelled. And I believe Robbie Willey's 6'7". He can command his box. I think he did he'd come out for one and dropped it or something, didn't he, on Sunday. But remember, he's not played that many games, and he's not as match sharp as probably you would hope he would be. But
he made a few mistakes.
Aye.
But he didn't concede until the last second, and you can see how frustrated he was. So you can see how much it means to him and how much he wants it. So why not?
Aye. It was the same age as McGregor, wasn't it? When McGregor got first team 25, 26, I think it was. Listen, like I always say every week, Alex Kelly's always full of the stats and the knowledge, and he's just put up a wee point here about Tillman. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but I just seen this and I don't want to lose it. But he says, Ricky, have you guys heard if Tillman signs with Rangers, they've insisted on an 80% selling clause. We need to sell him for £30 million to make any profit on the £5 million they're asking for.
I have no idea, but I definitely wouldn't have signed him for that.
That's unreal, isn't it? But normally he's right up there with his stats as well. So, I would take that. I wouldn't take Tillman. I mean, I would take that as gospel probably. You know. Right, moving on. As I said, I was reading a little article in Ibrox Noise. It was out a couple of weeks ago. But it was talking about certain players that you would keep and players that they think are going to be leaving. So the players that they thought are going to be leaving, which obviously we already know some of them, McGregor, Davis, Kieran Wright, Arfield, Helander, Kent, Morelos and Tillman all heading out. But then they were also saying injured, surplus or want to leave. McLaughlin, Roof, Kamara, Hadji, Lindstrom, Lawrence, Wright, Sakala. I can't say that name, is it awful board? Aye. Lowry, Matondo and Yilmaz. Is there any of the players that you can think straight away I want to keep, or it's time to go?
Started to look good.
Aye, he is, isn't he?
Better than I was expecting. I thought he would maybe end up a winger. So he's been doing well.
He's very good in defence, isn't he?
I think you have to give him Matondo the chance. You have to give him a season where he's playing regularly and not just in and out the team.
Is he good enough though?
Well, time will tell. Has he been good enough this season? No, but you have to give him a chance, and only Bill will know it. If he's not good enough, then he'll go. It's the same as Sakala, and I think Wright will go. Lawrence, unfortunately, is injured. Hadji's just back from injury. Roof we all love, but he's never on the pitch.
I think it's time for Roof to go.
I read an article today about Roof being a kind of focal point in a BL team next season.
Ibrox News, I think Rangers News was it?
I'm surprised at that because he's always injured and all, but he is a cracking player. But how many games has he come on before getting injured? It's not that many.
Maybe he got him a new set of calves for somewhere.
Was there any kind of standout ones there?
Well, Sakala won't go anywhere, will he? I know he's a bit and sometimes it's a bit annoying in front of goal and things like that. It's the composure you need from him, but I think Sakala, but I don't understand why he want to leave.
Funny how you mentioned composure there. You must be reading these questions on the screen, but this question is actually for you, Charlie. After the way Sakala scored in Old Firm, do you think the staff have been working on his composure and training? Is that something you can work on?
No, really. It's just comes with maybe a bit more experience, but I still thought he tried to miss it.
He still thought he tried to miss it. I was taking it with the keeper.
He was going for the post.
I thought he was going to hit the bloody post. And I thought the goalie was going to pick it up at one point. His pace got him out of that one. But let's hope. I like Sakala he's a hard one because he's not a starter. He's a work in progress, I think, Sakala.
Wait, just Sakala?
21? No. Sakala's 21 or something.
He's older than that.
Is he?
Oh, he's not.
I don't know. I'm sure somebody will tell us.
If he's older than 20, if he's 27, then we'll never get that.
Right, I'll just keep on with the online chat now. Here's Philip Gage saying, with Southampton relegated, would you take Aribo back if it was an option?
I would take him back, yeah.
I'd take him back in a minute. Stuart, and then
if Ajax want to get rid of Bassey as well, I'd take him back in a second.
Aye. Wonder what kind of money they were selling back to us for. The Gallant Few magazine, thoughts on young Aaron Lyle making his first team debut?
Up for everybody making a debut.
100%. I was lucky enough to come through the ranks. I want as many young Scottish guys coming through as we possibly can. And long may it continue. Just don't give them a sniff and then they come in and do well or whatever and then don't play again like Lowry has this season. Obviously, there's been some stories about Lowry and we don't know what they are, but just hopefully if the kids come in and do well, then they play. You have to give them a confidence to go and play if they're good enough.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, there's people just telling us Sakala's actually 26.
26? Oh, well.
What's 21? Right, Stuart. Thanks again for sponsoring the show, Stuart, by the way. And I'm going to go back to a clip when I asked you if I thought that we should sack Gio. Right, so I'm going to turn back time. I'm going to play a wee clip. And this was your answer. So this was 7 months ago, right? We'd just been beaten 2-0 off Liverpool. We won 4-0 against St Mirren. Then the game after you'd been on, we get beat off Liverpool. Was it 7-1 or 7-0? 7-1. All right, so this was your answer.
There's a question.
No, not yet. I think we've had too many changes. And you've got to stick with it. I think he's got to get a system. I think we need a bit of continuity in the team. I think that's what we're lacking. He needs to come up with a system and run with it.
Well, personally, I think, as I said before, I said quality rather than quantity, and it looks like quantity, obviously. And does Gio agree with Ross Wilson's signings? Does Gio and Ross Wilson, did they speak to each other who they want to sign?
So, I mean, so it's quite interesting seeing that back in it for 7 months ago.
I looked about 10 stone later.
You look like a different shade of brown. No, you must have been on holiday, or you've just come back to holiday. Stuart, what did you think about that?
I thought I was right for a month.
Aye.
It didn't last that
It lasted a month after
But
that.
you know-
Not yet, but like later on, aye.
I should have played like 5 seconds before that. I actually said I think the next manager is going to be Michael Beale. So
And as I said, I'm a believer.
you did. You said you're a believer now. Aye. But what do you think about the changes? And obviously, it's not just the manager that's been changed. It's the board changes.
In that clip, I was saying about systems. I didn't like what Gio did to the team. I think Rangers have got 5 years worth of players playing in a certain formation, and Gio came in and completely changed it, which is fair enough for any manager to do. But when you've got Tavernier wanting to bomb forward and Barisic bombing forward, and then he holds them back and completely changes it, you've got round pegs and square holes, or the other way around. You know, it didn't work. And I like what Beale's done. He's just come back using the players that he's got, playing them in the right formations, introducing players that are going to fit into that formation, that system that I was speaking about, and it's working. And that's why I'm a believer.
What do you think of the new CEO and things like that? But as well, because it's a previous guy that was in marketing, now he's a CEO of Rangers.
I don't know too much.
I don't know the business side either. I just want us to win in the pitch. And see, Michael Beale, Giovanni, I thought Giovanni got hard done by with the signings he got. He never got a proper, not one of the players were started really, did they? None of them.
Do you know what we were surprised at the time that he brought all the Dutch boys over in the coaching staff.
We were thinking we were going to bring, like, I think he tried to sign Joey Veerman and or was it something like that? But supposedly it was Giovanni didn't want any Dutch players.
I was
supposedly, but who knows? But the players have definitely stopped playing for Giovanni, unfortunately. They've come in and Bill's come in and they look a totally different team. They want to play. You've even got a wee bit out of Kent for a couple of weeks. And Morelos looks as if he got a wee bit fitter and wanted to play. And then Cantwell and Raskin have just been great signing. And even Lundstrom looks a player again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I thought it was good. I thought Lundstrom was really good yesterday.
Lundstrom looks like he was at the end of last season. The night European one, he was amazing. So
it's positive. It's positive signs. I think Gio leaving was the right thing at the right time, and it's next season. I think it's a really, really big season for Rangers because, 10 in a row a couple of years ago, we had to stop. Celtic are kind of threatening and taking over the trophies.
And trophies.
That can't happen.
Definitely not. And plus, the biggest one for me is Kamara. I thought he would have started playing well with Beale back and things like that, but as I said, I thought he was the best player in Scotland 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, and he's just a shadow of himself. It's unfortunate. It's just
gets bullied.
It's horrible to watch, and he's obviously down tools since he missed his move to wherever he was supposed to go, to Nice or something like that. But it's just not the same.
Is that a mental thing, Charlie, or is that I'm pissed off that I never got that move? I'm just not playing.
I don't know. I wouldn't have done it, but obviously it looks like it because it's not the same guy. I think I've sent his big brother back or something like that. From wherever he came, Finland.
But he'll have another year in a contract.
He's got another year.
Yeah.
So who's going to pay money for him when not leaving Dana this year?
Aye. It's mental that we got him for 50 grand and then he was, what was the last kind of offer? It was
like 8 million for Nice, was it no?
Aye. Be lucky if we get the 50 grand back now. Unfortunately. Right, I'm going to talk about the Player of the Year awards as well last night. I was actually surprised at some of them. So top first team goal scorer was James Tavernier. The first team goal, this was voted by the fans. It was a Cholak one against PSV. It was actually a tap-in, but I think it was because of the occasion.
It was really on the highlight of the year.
That's it. It was because it got us into Champions League. Players Player of the Year is Tavernier. Are you surprised with that, Charlie? Huh?
I think you get what Tav gives us is goals and So obviously, he doesn't defend as well as what we hopes he would, but for what we get out of him, I think he's very, very good. And I really do. I like Tav. I always have liked Tav, and I believe he deserves it because he's the most consistent one the whole season. And he's played nearly every game as well, whereas a few others haven't.
Aye, but I think, obviously, me and Stuart never got to any kind of level of football. Did you play football when you were younger, Stuart? Eh?
No.
No, you studying dentist books and that when you...
No, I did. I played football. I never played any organised football. I kicked a ball against the wall and keep you up, isn't that?
Because what I was going to say is, like, players, that was the trophy you always wanted to win, wasn't it? Because that was like my teammates are actually putting me up for this.
You want to win the player of the year as well. You want to win all of them.
Aye, but player, you know what I mean, Charlie? It's like, this is your fellow teammates, you know. And I think that shows you how much they actually think of Tav in the football team, whereas a lot of Rangers fans are still quite quick at criticising him and wanting the captaincy taken off him, but they must have a lot of respect.
I think when your fullback scoring, like your top scorer, I think that's a sign that he's got to be your number one, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Aye. And then the next one was very special. I would have loved it if wee Jimmy was still here. He got the John Gregg Achievement Award. That's pretty special, Charlie?
100%. I love the wee man. And no bigger Ranger than John Gregg.
Aye. It'd be amazing if he was still here to collect that award.
100%.
Then Academy Player of the Year, somebody was actually asking what we thought of him, so that's quite encouraging that, you know, he's coming in and getting his first cap for his yesterday. And then Men's Player of the Year, obviously 400th appearance in James Tavernier. So it's pretty good. Right, I'm just going to talk about some of the gigs that we've got coming on. Obviously, I'm heading down to Corby. So there's Miss Gers saying, looking forward to seeing you Saturday, Ricki, with Derek Johnson in Corby. So that's us down there. And then we're going to Blackpool, July the 15th. Isn't it? Yep. July 15th. And then we've also got the 28th of July, we're in Bells Hill. So you can get them all on our website. It's allaboutthegers.co.uk. Have you got any more gigs coming up, Charlie? Is it this weekend you're at with Durante and that?
I'm in Fulton Street for the Clarkson RFC Loyal on Friday night. Right. And then the following week I'm at Legends in Cambuslang with Derek, Ferguson and Durante.
Nice.
And then some other ones, but I can't remember. I've knackered my phone, so all my stuff's on my other phone and it doesn't even turn on.
That'll be some night with you too, won't it?
Oh, God.
And you were just back from Wick as well, you still recovering?
I was at Wick with Big Marvin Andrews and Dukey, and a few other ex-players who played in the Premier League. For the boy Alan Farquhar's testimonial at Wick, he's been there 14 years, so well deserved. And it was a great weekend, and they looked after us amazing. So it was a good weekend, and the football was horrible. Was it? I'm just too old for running about.
It's funny when you come in and say you're thinking about hanging up your boots. You're too young to hang up your boots, Charlie.
Oh, hell, man.
I've seen your goal in Dubai and all that.
Trust me, I couldn't even kick a ball at night at training with the kids.
Brilliant. Right, Stuart, the next game against Hearts. Obviously, we've nothing really to play for apart from our own pride, but Hearts are still fighting for a spot in Europe as well, so it's going to be quite a tough match, I think.
I think we've got a lot to play for. I think we can end the season in 5 straight wins, and I think Rangers will win on Wednesday night.
Aye.
Comfortably.
Giant Chandler.
Well, I think Hearts will probably be up for it big time because they obviously try to get into third place because that guarantees them Europa League, doesn't it? So it'll be a tough game. We've obviously got a lot of injuries, as we've seen on Sunday. If it plays the same team and they play the same way, then I don't see why they won't win the game. And as Stuart says, we want to win every game now at the end of the season. Get us going for the start of next season. Keep getting things in the high and just a wee bit of momentum.
They're meant to be announcing one of these signings on Wednesday as well, so I wonder if he'll... Can he actually get paraded at Ibrox or anything? They can't.
Sadio Mane's been told he can leave Bayern Munich, isn't he?
I'd take him.
That'd be decent, wouldn't it? Listen, I don't know where these guys get all these stats for, but it's brilliant. John Keane saying it was 18 years ago today was Helicopter Sunday. What a day that was. Where were you guys on that day? I
was in Norway, just about to go and play a game.
Aye.
I was on the phone to Derek McInnes, and Robbie Winters was playing. Robbie Winters is a Celtic fan, and I phoned McInnes, he said, what's the score? He says 1-0 to Motherwell, 1-0 to Celtic and 1-0 to Rangers. I'm going, oh shit. And then McInnes phones me back. I'm just like 10 minutes before I go in to play the game.
Right.
And he says, Scott McDonald's just equalised for Motherwell. I'm the top of Robbie's like, no chance. And I'm like, yeah, beauty. And then McInnes phones me back again. He says, he scored no kick. It's 2-1 to Motherwell. And Robbie Winters like, he can't do that. I'm like, just us. So that was and then we went out and played Start. We were playing away from home, went out and played against a team called Start, and we beat them 1-0. We Robbie scored a goal.
Aye.
So it was a good wee day.
Did you go and celebrate after it?
I went out and had a few sherbets.
Aye. Brilliant. What about yourself, Stuart? Can you remember that?
I do. I get sent into the garage to get the bottle of wine to drown our sorrows.
In the garage?
The super scoreboard was on in the garage, no, in the house garage, and heard the first McDonald go on the radio, and I came running back in, and I'm like, I don't think we'll be drowning our sorrows with this. And then ended up in the car driving to Ibrox, and we made the mistake of, I wasn't driving, but we drove down High Street into kind of their territory, and we were decked out in the red, blue and white and hiding under the rugs because they weren't very happy.
I know. I remember I was up at my old brother-in-law's, and I was driving back with about 3 minutes to go, and I was driving down the road, and then he's phoning me, "They've just scored." I'm like, "Aye, right." And then he's like, "I just scored again." And I'd wee Robbie in the car, and he was only a baby. I said, "Right, I'm bringing back up. Tell my sister that I'm dropping him off, right?" Do you know, I dropped Robbie off with no nappies, no food or anything. My wife, she was working. She nearly killed me. She was ready to leave me that night. She was like, "Where are you?" I was like, "I'm in Ibrox."
How many times have you watched the replays of like a cliche and Barry and
like Marvin's want to go and run forward with the ball?
Aye.
Hibs were happy with 1-0 because it got them into Europe.
Yeah.
We were happy with 1-0 because they were getting beat 2-1, and Marvin's about to go on a mad run. He's some boy that
It's also 15 years since Manchester.
Is it?
This week.
Aye.
Yeah, I think it pops up in the old Facebook thing. 15 years since Manchester now. 2008.
Aye, memories, eh? Anyway, right, let's see what everybody's saying online. Sorry, here's we are the people saying, "Well done, the Glasgow City women's team, for breaking Celtic fans' hearts." Did any of you watch it yesterday?
No.
No?
I didn't see it.
I heard the Rangers scored and the goal get disallowed
Okay,
to give it.
I don't think it was a goal. I think the keeper had it in their hands, I think, but I don't think it was a goal. But I wonder if it got to like 92 minutes, and obviously Celtic would have won.
Aye. They were cheering Rangers scoring, and then the goal was disallowed,
Aye.
which I thought was quite funny.
That's right, but I wonder if Rangers have said, "Listen, if we're getting beat," or if it's still a draw.
Rangers had to try and get into the Champions League, didn't they?
I suppose so. So it was an awkward one, wasn't it? But because it's just their goal was like very
94 minutes or
but
something.
it was very easy for them. So it was a bit dodgy.
But I think if Rangers won 1-0 as well, though, they would have, Celtic and Rangers had to have a playoff because they would have been the exact same goals.
Right.
Oh, aye.
Because Rangers were 1 goal ahead before the game. If Rangers won 1-0, Celtic won 2-0, they would have been in the same goals.
Aye. Here's a better mention. Curry Muncher, he's been putting loads of posts up. So he's saying, he's talking about the change. He was saying, was not the signings, the fitness fell off the cliff, the system was too negative and brought in a losing mentality. So he's going back to talking about Gio. But see what I was going to talk about as well, seeing him into injuries. Obviously, he had 12 players there that he couldn't pick, and some of them were just pulling it just before the game. The weekend. So Charlie, what's going wrong there? Is it because we've not got the full
playing for him?
No, I mean, like, sorry, I'm meaning now the fact that all these injuries we've got, you know, because that was 12 players that we couldn't select on Saturday.
On Sunday, aye.
Sunday, sorry. But why are we getting all these injuries, Charlie?
I have no idea. I honestly no idea. But these fitness trainers are supposed to be scientific, and I always played with an injury. We played with injuries all the time. So
it's been a running theme for years.
But it's a strange one because mine used to be able to know who the doctor was at Rangers. I don't even know if we've got somebody said it's a private firm or something now. I don't know.
No idea.
It's a strange one, isn't it?
No idea.
So Stuart, how's things with you anyway? Still being a dentist and all that, aye?
Aye. Trying my best,
aye.
It's been fun the last couple of years being a dentist. But we'll get there.
Is that sarcasm?
Yeah, that's the government have got me playing out a position like Barisic under Gio.
Aye. Oh, you're getting all political now. I'm getting my platform.
That's for another podcast, Ricky.
That is. Right, I'm just going to put up some more people's players down tools. Not a lot you can do about that. See those memories of the Euro run. GVB played a major part in that. Plus, we're more financially secure due to GVB, not broken.
The players that came in weren't good enough. It's simple, and there was loads of players that were injured, unfortunately, and that hindered Giovanni. But some of the signings just weren't good enough, and we all know that.
I mean, there's Alex Kelly saying Ross Wilson 100% bought these players. He was instrumental in both Gerrard and Gio leaving. Our first home Champions League match versus Napoli, Gio did not pick any new signings. That sent out everyone a clear message he was unhappy at the club.
No, I don't disagree with that. Giovanni didn't get the signings he wanted. And I always say, if you can see the signings of Cantwell and Raskin, they're two players that come in and start. See if Giovanni get two players he wanted that would have come in and started, I think it would have been fine. Instead of signing 7 players, it's just signing 2 better than what we've had starting. And then it gives the boys a lift.
And Beale said that from the very beginning. If he signs a player, they're starting. And that's his only mistake, that he didn't start them against Celtic in that one game.
Cup final.
Right.
Yep.
Hey, I was trying to get a hold of Tonto, but he's in Tenerife. I was going to give him a wee phone call.
I heard he's in Tenerife.
Right, he's in Tenerife and then he's away to Bologna, I think, as well. So that's
Lewis scored on Sunday.
All right, so he'll be well.
Saturday.
He's probably still on the red wine then, eh?
Yes, probably.
But that's us, because we're kind of running out of games and that, so that's us actually finished tonight already, unfortunately. But Stuart, thanks again for coming on the show.
Anytime, Ricky.
It's a wee short one tonight, so Charlie, you can get him at your bed.
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right.
You all right?
Yes.
But we will be back next Monday. It'll probably be Is it? Don't know when we'll be back. Aye, might not be next Monday, but we'll definitely be back over the next week or two. We'll have a very end of the season podcast as well. I might even have it in the pub. Is that sound, Charlie?
Why not?
We'll have it in Lounge 72 maybe.
Froth off a few.
That sounds good, and we can just talk about the season, and hopefully next season will be better. But once again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you all again next week.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, Stuart.
And I hate made a slash and a stain on my soul, and it chewed